tuning in to the online broadcast network, AfterBuzz TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment. AfterBuzz TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing after-shows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows. Interviewing celebrities and showrunners. And bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
That's the music we love, and we love being here. Hi, everybody, and thank you again for watching AfterBuzz TV's The Best Show on Television, The Amazing Race. I cannot believe it. It is season 25. This episode is entitled Hot Sexy Nights. It's great to be back, everybody. My name is Justin Nichols, one of your hosts, but of course, across from me, two other amazing hosts. Hi, guys.
Hey, guys, I'm Jessica Carroll, and today we have...
Leo Temory, back at it.
Leo Temory, and of course, you probably know the name. You recognize the face if you're watching it online right now. But he is not only one of the racers on The Amazing Race, he is one of your all-stars on The Amazing Race. So we are amongst greatness. Now, of course, wow, the crowd goes wild. And of course, sadly, Mr. James Wallington cannot be here tonight. All of you guys that are listening and watching, you have been so supportive. It is crazy here in Los Angeles with all these premieres that you are hosting, Jessica, and James is working on. I've been busy, so of course we know that not every week we're all three able to be here, but of course we always have your back. There's two of us here, so of course James is gone, but man.
And we love having guests, so we're so happy
this is the best. Sorry about your luck, James, but we're bringing an all-star and you're gone, so James, you can be gone more often. That'd be great. Thank you for being here once again, and this is I thought it was a pretty great episode, just overall. What'd you think?
I love this episode. I mean, we haven't had an episode in 2 weeks, so I was like dying for Friday for this episode. So I thought overall, it was a great episode. It kept me very entertained.
I thought it was fast-paced. You know, what do you think, Leo? Just overall,
I loved it. It was challenging. They both had different spectrums, like with the carrying the glasses and to the grease running. It was kind of hectic. They did a lot of intense stuff this episode.
I feel it was a very, very physical episode.
It's getting each challenge is getting harder and harder and harder, and even the little snip peeks for next episode, it just keeps raising the bar.
Keeps raising the bar. And of course, like you said, we were gone last week. There was not an episode. And I know that the previous week we had hinted at maybe we're going to have some special guests from this current season. We really, really tried. It sounds like maybe some of the guests we were going to have were not quite able to speak about their experience yet on the race. So that's what happened. We did not lie to you guys. We just thought we were okay. At the very last minute, as television goes, you know.
So am I a backup plan here?
No, this was last week. Okay. Last week there wasn't an episode, so we were going to have a special episode, and we were hoping to talk to some of these current racers, and the powers that be said, no.
I guess, I was there. I was there last season.
You've been in that, bro. You know what we're talking about. Anyways, let's go ahead and jump right into this one. We start back again in the beautiful island of Sicily in Palermo. And we go ahead, and of course, Jim and Misty start off. They're departing at 6:37, but the next right behind them, Kim and Allie, Amy, Maya, Brooke and Robbie, Adam and Bethany, and then our boys, Tim and TJ. So, and what's nice is, though, Tim and TJ left at 7:44, which was about an hour after the first team left, 6:37. That's a lot of time. So I was already really nervous, and we know that they have a speed bump later on in the race. So I was like, ooh, this could be bad. But we found out, like this whole season's been going, everyone catches up at the ferry. This whole season I feel like has been equalizers.
There's been a lot of equalizers for sure.
Yeah, there is quite a few, and like as a contestant, it's like if you're in the front, you dread it. It sucks. But if you're in the end, like Tim and TJ, you're like, oh yes, fresh start, and they got a speed bump, so they're looking good. Yeah.
So I was like, okay, because we know we like Tim and TJ here on the AfterBuzz, so I felt good then. I was like, okay, our boys are still okay. Then I got really protective. I was like a proud papa, because what happens is the teams go onto this ferry boat because they need to take a ferry to
the Bridge Bar.
That's right, the Bridge Bar. Here was the problem. My girls, Kim and Allie. Do not mess with them teams, all right? They're on my fantasy draft team. I think they're fun on the race. And as soon as these teams all get onto the ferry boat, everyone kind of congregates together. Except our girls came out. They want some downtime, all right? There's nothing wrong with that.
I don't blame them. Yeah. They want some resting time. That makes sense. You know, my girl Brooke, I feel like she instigated this a lot.
She is stirring the pot.
Brooke.
Yeah, I mean, I still love her. I think she's hilarious, but she definitely was stirring the pot, talking about how they're so weird. They're sitting over there by themselves.
And so then they get a plot. Everyone aligns except Allie and Kim.
Yeah.
And they decide that if a double U-turn or U-turn exists further on in the race, they apparently all now have agreed, no matter who's racing right behind them, to U-turn the cyclists.
Yeah, it's not really fair. It sucks. I was in that position too. Like when we were on our boat, me and Jamal got off the boat to go get ice cream, and it was like, they're so sneaky. They're up. What are they doing? What are they doing? Kim and Allie just running their own game, minding their own business. The Cowboys did it all the time, but no one ganged up on the Cowboys, you know?
And, you know, Leo, as an Amazing Race expert, what do you think? It seems like a bad strategy. We'll see if they actually do it, but if there's a team right behind you, and if you're second to last, you know, or whatever, it may not be the best move to automatically U-turn. Kim and Allie, you might want to strategically U-turn someone that's near you in the race. Exactly. So I don't think it sounds like a very good idea.
No. What was, like, when you had the opportunity to U-turn someone, what was, like, the strategy behind knowing who to U-turn? Or not U-turning anyone?
Unfortunately, when we U-turned, we were forced to U-turn because we were always U-turn. Like the most U-turn team of all time.
You were.
But most strategy was, like, logistically, physically, like, well, they're smart. It's like, we U-turned the Cowboys only because they were amazing. They were smart. They were physical. So it all strategy. Like, we want to be in the top three with not the Cowboys who are really equal to us, but, you know, weaker teams that we thought we could outrun and outsmart. Or definitely, if you're second to last, you're going to U-turn, as Justin said, the team right behind you to give you a cushion and guarantee you sort of get on to the next level.
Right.
So, see, that's strategy. Why? That's why you were an all-star, and these teams, I hopefully are not, because they're picking on my girls. But like you were saying, Jess, once you get off the ferry, you need to go to Pride Bar, and what you have to do is you have to carry this tray on your fingertips, which automatically sounds hard. But then I was thinking, oh, it's probably just like one little champagne glass. No, they had a whole bottle of what looked like liquor. You had two apparently very fragile glasses. And you also have to carry it above your shoulder was the challenge.
500 steps.
A ridiculous amount of steps. And in the dark. The only lighting seemed to be a little lamp placed on your forehead. So this looked really, really challenging.
How do you think you would have done?
Not well. If you looked at my hospital file, I have broken every single bone in my body. Not because I do extreme sports. I'm just the clumsiest person alive. So I would have been a disaster. What about you, Jess?
Oh, well, first of all, my hands are so small that I would not even, like, I can't even hold a tray like this steady. So I would have failed miserably. I'm so glad that I did not have to do this challenge. I probably would have still been there trying to do it.
What about you, Leo?
Coming from restaurant background, like,
you're like, why wasn't I have this challenge?
I know, I was like, oh my god, are you kidding me? But I really felt bad for Bethany because they got all the way to the top.
Oh,
but I don't think they understood that when you were dropping it down, you could help, and that's why it was harder with one hand bringing it down, and then finding the second time around her.
Well, I knew it was going to be hard because right away Jim spills and then Maya spills, so it wasn't like every team just passed with flying colors. But then you're right, Bethany and Adam, they make it all the way to the top. They had a good mantra, slow and steady, slow and steady.
Oh yeah, they whipped through the stairs. They got to the top. They were like, you know, they were taking their time, and then she was just going to set it down.
Set it down on the table with the knights, because that's who you have to deliver the drinks to, is the Knights of Malta, and they spill it.
It's like a nightmare.
And what's even more of a nightmare is, part of the challenge is you have to clean up your broken glass. So if you spill your glass towards the start, you don't have to go back very far to get your broom, but they had to run all the way down the steps, grab the broom, go all the way back up, clean it up, go all the way back down,
and do it all over again.
Do it all over again.
The Knights, though, were hilarious. They were like cheering, and they were so excited. Like when she dropped it, they were like, "Oh!"
I want to be their friends. Yeah, I want to drink with them. That's a good crowd.
What they were drinking.
I know.
So, the teams, they keep spilling. Some are better than others, but I'm proud of my girls. You can try to, go against them or not, but every team, by the way, spilled. Not a single team passed without spilling. But Allie and Kim, our girls, were the first ones to get up there. Bravo, bravo.
Yay.
Where's the applause there, huh? But anyway, though, here's the thing I kind of noticed, though. I was surprised they passed when they did. I mean, I'm no judge, but it looked like a lot of the teams, including my girls, went below the shoulder. Did you guys notice that? I feel like a lot of them were kind of like lowering it. Maybe I was wrong, but I was like, oh, they're not going to pass. That was below the shoulder. They were kind of bringing it down. Like Tim and TJ also brought it down really low, and didn't seem to matter.
Well, I mean, if you think about it, your hand, like even Brooke was like, oh my God, my hand's going to give. Like my hand's going to give.
Oh, shocker. So your girl Brooke complaining? No, that's never happened on The Amazing Race.
Well, she's a strong person.
She is.
The fact that she was even mentioning that her arm was getting tired, that means that it was tiring.
Yeah, it was. But so Brooke and Robbie, but they made it right up there second.
But then in the end, it didn't really even matter because once again, there was another equalizer.
Surprise!
Two of them.
Two equalizers, and they had to sleep overnight on the ground, on the floor. Oh my God, I would have hated that.
Yeah, I talked to some of the racers and they said that was painful.
Oh, it's gotta be.
Yeah, it was not fun.
Does that happen often? You have to.
That happened to us in All Stars, but we had a lobby. Like,
this was like outside.
So it's sort of not like, you'll think that the other people in the production or whatnot, they're also there, but not really.
No. So I guess my question to you is, since these teams, what happened was when they arrived after they got their taxis after their drinks, they were told 3 teams leave at 7:30 and 3 teams leave for a boat at 7:45. So my question is, if you know you have to be back at this point, why couldn't you? Could you maybe just go to like a restaurant or a hotel and be like, we have no money. Can I please sleep on your lobby? Like, I mean, could you at least ask any, or no? Would that not be allowed?
Typically, yeah, you could. Like, say if your flight left in like 24 hours, But I guess this scenario, because I saw like production had given them like all sleeping bags and like sort of like blankets and pillows. So I'm guessing no, you couldn't go.
It was part of the segment.
You had to stay right there. Yeah, that's why when they jumped in the water, they're like, oh, there's my shower for the day.
Yeah.
Well, and here's another part of my skepticism with the show, and I'm glad that you're here. So I guess in my mind, I'm always thinking, for TV's sake, they show you going to bed, and they show them waking up in the morning. But then I always wondered, do they really just go off to a hotel during that time and just make it look like they spent the night over there? Or do you really think they spent the whole night out there?
They spent the whole night on the streets.
Really? So it's not just for TV?
Yeah, no, definitely not. We were in Spain the last season. We were freezing. Like our backpacks, the teams that were there, we all took everything out of our backpack and wore it. Like when we couldn't go anywhere else, because there was a lot of like fans who recognized us from the previous season, and we were like, "Can we stay with you guys?" And they're like, "Yeah, come with us," but they're like, "No."
Oh my God!
Yeah, so it's part of the thing. Another thing is security reasons too. Yeah, like they want to make sure that like the security is watching over everybody, and because they don't have like 6 different to go to
different houses,
to go to different places. So it's safer for production knowing where you are and to be able to keep an eye over you as well.
And then would they have fed them that night?
Most likely they had some like not like really good, but they probably had some snacks.
Because you never see them eating, and I was just thinking, like, what is the eating schedule like?
You don't.
No, yeah. I lost like 15 pounds. Eating. Because when you're on the race, like when you open the envelope, you have $100-something for this leg, right? You don't know if that's going to be used for a train, a taxi, because they allot it specifically. Maybe they allot like $5 for food. So you're really not eating because you can't risk, maybe bribing a taxi driver $5 when you could have had some McDonald's, like, do you want to win that leg or,
eat. Well, it's kind of good to hear, I guess, because sometimes we're very skeptical over what's TV and what's real. So it's nice to hear that when they say they're spending the night on this rock, it's good to hear that they really do spend the night out in the cold. So I mean,
unless they change the rules and it's all for TV.
No. We'll go with what you said. So so the next morning came, they wake up, and the first 3 teams leave on the 7:30 boat on the way to the roadblock is Kim and Allie, Tim and TJ, and Jim and Misty.
Yeah.
Which once again, our boys Tim and TJ, they caught up. They're on the first boat, and so the roadblock is called Into the Blue, in which one person on your team has to go above this cliff, and then you rappel 20 stories down into this amazing water.
Yeah. Gorgeous.
Gorgeous water. I really want to go back.
Clear.
Yes. And then the other teammate is waiting down below in a boat, and then you have to search for your next clue.
Yeah.
If you knew what was going to be entailed, Jess, would you repel or would you just wait down at the bottom?
Oh, I would repel.
Really?
I am all about that. I love that stuff.
I'll be waiting in the boat.
I'm with you, man. Let someone else fall off a cliff.
No, that would have been gorgeous. I would have been all about that.
I'd just be laying in the boat, getting some sun.
It doesn't help not knowing how to swim that well.
That would not help.
I'll be right here sipping on some tea.
Yeah. That's probably the way to go then. And yeah, the water there, I really want to go there now. It looked amazing.
So gorgeous.
Yeah. So what they had to do was they had to rappel down, and they did a really good job.
Misty and Allie just freaking boom down.
Straight down.
Tim took a little bit longer.
Took a hot second. A little bit. And then once again, I mean, we go back to it a lot, and I feel like maybe we're giving it more attention than we should. But, you know, Bethany, obviously she has a disability with one arm, and like nothing slows this girl down. Like repelling.
And, you know, even Brooke mentioned it. Like this girl, when she does her challenges, she's on fire.
Yeah.
Swimming with one arm, like rappelling with one arm. I mean, nothing stops this girl. It's like,
it's crazy.
Yeah.
She does on a whole nother spectrum. Yeah. Like rappelling with one hand, carrying, like, you know, being able to balance, swimming like a dolphin.
Yeah.
You know, it's
it makes you like realize that I think we take our second arm for granted for sure.
Yeah. I was really impressed.
Yeah.
Even more so once they got down into the boat, because once the person who rappelled down the 20 stories got into the boat, then had to quickly jump into the water, swim into this dark grotto, and retrieve the clue and see where they can go next.
Which, good thing she is an incredible swimmer.
Yeah, that helped. She was boom.
Yeah.
She was out of there. She was passing teams.
She had to put the clue like in her mouth, swim back with it in her mouth. She couldn't, you know, hold on to it. So
yeah, she never complains, and she has one arm. Like, look at Brooke. Like, she's strong, and she has two arms.
All the time.
She was all the time.
I thought it was nice though that Brooke did acknowledge that she is a great.
So she complains and also admires.
Yeah.
It's good.
Only when she's not actually doing the challenge herself. Like she was there, like criticizing her partner, and she's just in the boat chilling.
Which is awesome. I loved how Amy outswam him.
Yeah, I love that. And then she was like, well, I guess, you know,
muscles sing.
Muscles sing. Yeah, muscles sing.
I don't think it was smart him not wearing a life vest. I probably would have helped him.
I didn't even notice. Good eye. I'm surprised you didn't have to wear a life vest.
That's true.
I did notice that some people left their clothes on, and Bethany like freaking stripped down.
She knows.
Damn.
Yeah. That's how Tim. He was like when he had all the weight with his pants. You know that doesn't help.
Yeah.
Yeah. He even commented. He's like, I've had way too many clothes on for this. He was he was definitely slowed down. So once you swim into the grotto, kind of dark, a little spooky, you retrieve the clue, and it told you that you needed to get back into the boat and make your way towards the Church of Scholastica. We'll go with that.
Yeah,
Does that sound,
sounds good.
Kind of right? And once you get there, you have the detour. And I feel like on this episode, this is where Classic Amazing Race came in.
Yeah.
This was where this would make or break you.
Yep.
Based on what you choose.
Well, and this was a blind detour. Did you ever have one of those?
Good question.
I don't remember us having one of these for a while.
Yeah.
I don't think we've had anything.
Because there was just two words, flag or shine, and you just randomly had to pick.
We usually have that in the clue itself. Like it'll say flag or shine, and then you open it up, and then it gives you like instructions.
Yeah.
But this was like blind from the beginning, so we didn't have that now.
So it's really interesting because Kim and Allie, who did the repelling first, they are the first ones to get to the detour. They see flag or shine, and they say, all right, let's try flag. Right?
Yeah.
So they go and do the flag. But what's really interesting is that then, of course, Tim and TJ, Jim and Misty see them
and just go there.
And automatically just start going and following them. Now, the flag challenge was you had, I don't even know, this was the most bizarre thing I've ever seen. I can't even describe this. There was if you did not see the episode, there's this long, looks like a wooden telephone pole.
Wait, so you haven't seen this at Hermosa Beach every Sunday?
No.
Yeah, off the pier. They have
what?
No,
I was just going to say,
what?
I'm never going to start watching this. But,
I've never seen this either.
But yeah, so you have to then, they grease this pole. And you then have to, balancing on this pole would be hard enough, but you have to balance running up it over the water, try to grab a flag without slipping on the grease, and then you have to fall into the water.
And the horizontal pole is on a slant.
Yeah.
So not only is it flat, it's on a slant, greased up, and you have to really narrow. You have to run, grab a flag, and then.
Yeah.
And then I read something on TV Guide that Tim and TJ had just responded to. They said that after each couple runs, they would grease it up again.
Oh.
So it's not like you're wasting the grease.
Start wearing the grease off.
That's what they said, that they kept adding more grease.
I was just thinking that if you fell on, I mean, I saw that Robbie kind of got his leg stuck. Like that.
Yeah, in his underwear.
In his underwear. I would have been bruised. Like that looked like it hurt.
So that was so it looked like that was one of the most painful challenges I think we could have seen. And you were wearing a helmet, but I was like, what's protecting your face? Like you slip so fast, like you can break your nose,
other parts.
Your whole body.
You straddle that by accident, and that would hurt.
Yeah.
So that was one of the two tours you could choose, or you could choose Shine, which we later found out meant that you would put on these knights' armor. Yeah, but they were like they were like silverware that has not been, you know, shined in a while. You had to like really rub all the the rust and everything off these armors. Well, we always say on our AfterBuzz show, it's a big mistake to change detours. Now, of course, you animals are the kings of switching detours.
We love changing detours.
You loved it.
It's a once-in-a-lifetime experience. Why not do both?
Just do it all.
Why not?
But I feel like this is where teams need to take a page out of your guys' book, where if you think that this is going to take forever, even if you spent 30 minutes with it, maybe switch.
Yeah.
I mean, because it worked.
I think when running up the pole, like if me and Jamal or saw it and it was a water, just because I don't like, you know, being water, we would have definitely not, we would have gone to the other one. So that would have helped us.
Yeah.
But when I was seeing it, like, you know, might have been some strategy, but if you try it 3 or 4 times, like, you're just gonna get more and more tired. Like, I don't think it would have gotten easier. I think just like Kim and Allie, they switched, they did good. Tim and TJ should have switched. What would you guys would you have stuck with it?
Well, there wasn't one team that completed it.
None.
Yeah. So I probably would have, even now knowing, I probably would have tried it because I do have good balance and I'm not scared of heights and I love the water. So I probably would have tried it. But just like you said, if I tried it and I couldn't get it 3 or 4 times, I probably would have switched. Because it's something that, you know, it's not like you're going to get better. You're going to get more tired. You're going to get more frustrated.
You're barefoot.
You're going to get more in your head. So it's like, okay, let's just switch.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think I would have tried it, but that was one of those where once you see team after team switching, I see you might be like, well, let's just hurry and get this and we'll be in the lead. But it's also like, just stay with the pack sometimes.
But, you know, I was wondering, so it seemed like, you know, everyone kind of got the yellow flag. So the yellow flag obviously was doable. The red flag, that was even a little bit farther. Impossible. But I was wondering if, did you like have to run, or like could you like take your time and like try to walk slow? I don't know.
I'm thinking you had to run.
Yeah, I think there was rules that they didn't necessarily explain to us, because I was also thinking I would have just gone out on my stomach.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, and just slowly army crawled up the pole. But the fact that no team did it and they were saying run, 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 that must be part of the challenge they didn't really explain to us.
Yeah.
But you know, it kind of goes back where when you get this far into the race, who cares about getting first anymore? Just stay with the pack so that you know
that you're good.
You're still okay. You see things behind you. So when Tim and TJ, I mean, they got to this challenge first.
Yeah.
So when they saw every single team try it and every single team leave, there should have been a light bulb that said, "Oh crap!"
It might have been impossible, because you know, as I read in the article that they had interviewed on, they said that the example that the other guys that were running, there was no flags on that pole. So like, you really don't know if they were even able to catch the flag.
Yeah.
You know? So perhaps it was a challenge. The producers wanted to see who would stick
it out.
Yeah. Now,
you know, and going back to how Tim and TJ and Jim and Misty saw the cyclists down there and then just went there.
Yeah.
It kind of worked to the advantage for Jim and Misty.
Absolutely.
Because they got there, they saw the challenge, and then they realized, wait, we're missing something. We didn't get the clue yet. And then they got the clue, and they're like, okay, well, we definitely are not going to do that one.
Exactly.
So let's just go right to the armor.
You crossed off that elimination.
Yeah.
Totally.
And I loved how when Tim and TJ realized that they had to go get the clue, they just left their shoes. Like, they left everything. They're running barefoot. And then they got to their speed bump, and they had to paint the
cross.
The cross on the shields, which that was easy. They nailed that like fast. Then they went back barefoot again, and they continued to do this and do this and do this and over and over and over. And I felt bad because TJ got the yellow flag, and you know, in a way, he was trying to kind of making Tim feel bad, like Tim was doing something wrong, when you could tell Tim was doing anything he could to try to get that flag.
But I think it also goes back to whenever we talk to racers, you know, we get the opportunity to talk to them, they say when teams get on each other's cases, we sit back being like, why? But also you remember, like, they're so hungry, they are so tired that it's like you see them keep failing and the team gets so frustrated with each other, and it's like, I can't imagine the physical stress that you're under.
Especially Tim and TJ, you saw them with the bugs, like when they were sleeping on the floor. They're like probably all frazzled that day.
Yeah. Just you make decisions you probably wouldn't make with a full stomach and a full night's rest.
Right. And also, it was probably so frustrating, too, for TJ. He probably wanted to help so bad.
Yeah, definitely.
But there was nothing he could do.
No, not at all. And it's funny because we always take notes, you know, when we're watching the show.
Yeah.
And so I was writing down who decided to do flag, who decided to do shine. But then teams started to switch, so I started drawing like arrows over my notes for the next one. But then teams were switching back, and I was like, my notes now are just like all these arrows. And so, like, of course, then our wrestlers, Brooke and Robbie, they decided they were going to do the shine.
Yeah.
And then they do it for a good amount of time. And Brooke keeps saying, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this. So then Rob's like, all right, you want to switch? She's like, yes. They go to do the flags, do that for a good amount of time. I don't want to do this.
Oh, wait. He got into his underwear. He thought this would make a big difference.
That was going to change, was going into his underwear.
They were actually, I liked the underwear, though. They were pretty good underwear.
You might have rewinded a few times on that part of the episode.
Pause, but maybe
push pause.
When you pack for the Amazing Race, you really take your time because everything's going to be on TV.
And so, of course, they go back. The only thing that helped them was seeing Tim and TJ still at the flag. So they realized, okay, we probably can't go back to Shine. We know it's that much easier. We'll be okay.
I think at that point, Tim and TJ should have just gone with them.
We'll go with you. Yeah. We'll race this one out.
Right.
Exactly.
Now, when you go back, I think we talked about this 2 or 3 weeks ago, but I don't remember. When you go back, you can pick up where you left off. So even if Tim and TJ would have left right away.
But you saw, like, the wrestlers, they didn't have an easy time doing it. And Tim and TJ, from what we saw, they did it pretty quickly. So who knows? Yeah. They could have got into their heads and started talking to them.
Now, the smartest team of all, though, is, of course, Adam and Bethany. Because all season long, they've been holding on to their
Express Pass.
Yeah.
And I think of any challenge we have seen the entire season, this is the one they probably should have used it on.
Right.
For sure.
And they did.
Well, and you know, because if you actually think about the challenges, the flag one, you need 2 hands to do that.
Yeah.
And then especially the Shining, like she would have had.
You need 2 hands.
You need 2 hands. So when it all came down to it, this was the perfect challenge detour to use the Express Pass. The thing that they didn't even try to do either one of them.
They needed to use the Express Pass.
They needed to use it. But Bethany looked at that flagpole thing and she was like, that looks so fun. I wish we could have done that.
Yeah. But I think their time was up for the Express Pass. Yeah. So it was like they had to use it, and like they said, I think sometimes they don't wait long enough. They use it too quickly, and I'm like, no, they did it just right. Use it for this challenge, and it worked out.
Yeah.
Because they got to avoid all the switching of this detour. They got to avoid all the drama and the pain. So.
Yeah, especially with the blind, sort of a blind U-turn too.
Yeah, it was really, really tough. So they went ahead, so they could do the Express Pass. They ran up to Fort Manuel, and man, what an amazing
place. That's my house.
Right?
Gorgeous.
When you buy it, can you have us there for a party?
Yeah. All right. And I'll sell 2 poles on the side so we could just run with a bunch of grease.
And can we get the bird too?
Yeah.
The Maltese Falcon.
Yeah.
That'll be your host when you walk in.
Yeah, because I mean, if you're going to use an Express Pass, you might as well use it to get first and not just to save yourself from leaving. You know, so they used it, and a hell of a good prize.
Yeah, $10,000 each.
10 grand each. When you guys were doing the race, did you ever, when you got first, what was the prize you guys won?
I think the highest on our season was, which we won, was $7,500. Oh. So they beat us.
You know, speaking of 7,500, do you know randomly I was on The Price is Right once? This is a random story. And I was bidding on a refrigerator, and I bid $7,500 on the refrigerator and got booed and kicked off the show. But anyway, when you said that amount, fun fact, there you go. But anyway, back to the Amazing Race. Not Price is Right. Funny. I'm an idiot on The Price is Right. But yeah, they won. They got first. Adam and Bethany, they couldn't have been happier. And shocker, we heard once again
how much he loves her.
How much he loves her. I don't know. We say every episode here at AfterBuzz, Leo, that like we love them together and they're an adorable couple, but they are like just freshly married and they are so in their honeymoon stage that like I kind of just want to start throwing up now.
Each team has this like perfect like sort of a stereotype to them, you know?
Yeah.
And they're just like, oh, look at each other's eyes and say how much I love you.
Even Phil is like, oh, can't you just tell they're so in love?
Ugh, Phil, don't encourage this. Don't encourage this. So yeah, they got first. And you know, Misty and Jim, they very smart. They switched to, you know, the Shine, and they just have such strength. I think aggression. They had to get a lot of aggression to get out, and they shined those things fast.
Yeah.
Holy hell.
And they were shiny.
They were very like their teeth.
Yep, just like their teeth.
They said that's what they do for a living.
Yeah.
Shine.
Shine.
Done and done. And so, no surprise, they got second place. And you know it probably irked them that they didn't get first.
Yeah.
Like second place to them.
And they still have
their save. Thumb,
yeah.
At the beginning, he's like, I can't wait for my thumb. Didn't get the thumb. No.
Not yet.
Not yet.
They probably will get that thumb soon, but not on this one. Ha!
And they're still holding on to the safe, which I think they have one more leg to use it. They have to use it by the end of the 9th.
Yeah, that's a crucial new little twist.
Yeah, the save.
I don't know. Can they use it anytime?
Well, so only if they get last place, they can use the save.
But up until the end?
9th. No, just up after the 9th leg.
Okay.
So they have one more leg.
Yeah.
Oh.
Now, like I said, we've mentioned it before. I really wish when they got last,
they had to use it
because it ended up being a non-elimination.
I know.
But I was just like, oh, I should have taken it from them. It'd been so good. So they got second place. Good for them. Kim and Allie, they got third place. I think they chose to leave the flag challenge quickly. Good for them.
Yeah.
They kind of they get a little bickery with each other. They're getting tired.
Yeah.
So they got third place though. They worked together. Good teamwork. I'm really surprised with team number 4. I don't think we've given them enough credit on our AfterBuzz show because we're always like they don't get much airtime. They're gonna be eliminated soon, and then every episode. They're still there, right in the middle. Amy and Maya, the scientists.
I felt so bad for her trying to run with a hurt leg.
Yeah.
I know.
So
I felt bad, and that could, put them in. It's probably the reason why they were in the lower pack because of her, issue with her leg.
Well, Maya doesn't have a problem. You saw her run a whole lap around.
Oh yeah, she was so excited. She was like doing an extra little lap.
She's got so much energy. But I just think that if you would have gone back to the earlier episodes, if you would have said Amy and Maya would be in the top 5, I'd be like,
oh, for sure.
Are you crazy? And all of our comments on YouTube and Twitter and Facebook, no one ever says, I think Amy and Maya are going to get first this leg. Everyone always thinks they're going to get eliminated. And then every week, they're still in there.
They're just hanging
Watch
in there.
Watch them win. We never know.
You never know.
Your fantasy leagues are both all
they'll all go to hell.
I love how Tim and TJ call them the Candy Girls or the Candy Ladies.
Candy Girls, so it got a little intense there. Like I said, Brooke and Robbie went back to shining. They're shining. Tim and TJ arrives. They're all shining at the same time. And then poor Brooke and Robbie, they are cursed with taxis. And as you know, Leo, this race is all about taxis.
Oh my God, taxis make or break you. Like if you have a great taxi, you're gonna win $1 million if it's at the last leg. If not, you're done. You should have luck.
Okay, so they found a taxi, but the taxi was waiting for Tim and TJ with their backpacks. What would you have done?
I would have pulled.
But before you answer that, you can't take a taxi.
You can't.
Unless the taxi driver takes out their bags, but you can't touch anyone's bags.
Can you ask the taxi driver to take out their bags?
If they are willing to do it, yeah.
Because I don't want to be a bad sport. The thing is that if you're going to do it to a team that's not going to get last, you're screwed because they're going to come back and get you, right? They're going to U-turn you. But if it's between you and another team to be eliminated, I would have probably been that guy and asked the taxi driver, take their bags out, because then, even if it's the crummiest thing to do, they're going to get eliminated. No one on the race is going to know that you guys did that, so they're not going to have a target on your back because you went to that level.
Right. And you're still in the race.
Tim and Marie took out.
I was going to say, that was Tim and Marie's
thing. And then Tim was like, let's just blame the animals.
Yeah. When I was like, they always have problems getting taxis. Like, if I was them, I would have been so frustrated. I would have been like, to get those bags out, like, we'll pay you anything. You just have to take us.
Especially the amount of bad luck they had throughout that leg.
What I don't understand is that guy was waiting for Tim and TJ because they tell their cab driver, please wait for us. I don't understand why Brooke and Robbie never think to have their cab driver wait for them.
I think that's what's going to be maybe the end of them is their
they don't have a cab wait.
Yeah, they're how they keep switching, complaining, like they have to stick with learn from your mistakes.
Yeah.
Like, taxis, you have a horrible time. Keep your taxi and stick with the challenge you're doing.
Tell them to stay. I mean, maybe the taxi cab just drove off, but it just seems very coincidental that every other team's taxis wait for them, and then once again, Brooke and Robbie have no taxi.
Right. I think that it's part of the issue is that Brooke really gets in her head. Yeah. She gets psyched out. Yeah. Oh, we're last. This is too hard. We suck at this. Like, let's switch. Like, she just needs to focus on the task they're doing. Yeah. Not worry about anything else. And just like you said, be smart about taxi situation because clearly they're not good at finding them.
Absolutely. So Brooke and Robbie, then it's one of those where with the editing, You see them get off a taxi, and they keep saying,
"Oh, I hate those."
Oh, Tim and TJ, they're gonna catch up behind us. And then all of a sudden, you see Tim and TJ get into the cab, and then you're literally thinking,
what's gonna happen?
Oh, what's gonna happen? And there's always that shot of someone coming around the corner with Phil on the mat. You know, it's a very Amazing Race moment.
Yeah,
and we see that Brooke and Robbie are the ones coming up the mat to get 5th place.
And I love how Phil was like, "So, what place do you think? Show me with your pecs."
Boom, boom, boom.
And then Phil tries to go and just uses his hands, his shoulders.
It was awkward because I didn't see any muscles moving, and so I just saw Phil awkwardly stare at Brooke and Robbie, and Brooke and Robbie were awkwardly staring back. I was like, "What's happening right now?" I don't understand.
I thought that was so funny.
The bird flew off.
Yeah.
I'm done with this.
So sadly, then Tim and TJ arrive 6th, and this is, of course, an elimination leg, as the last one was not, and so they are going home. I'm sure that James Wallington right now, even though he's busy and not able to be at tonight's show, is crying somewhere at another work project.
And even when Phil saw that they were last, I think even Phil was kind of sad to say bye.
Yep. They were a positive team. They were a fun team, and so I think that everyone was like, "Oh, it's a tough team to see go."
And even their story about how they're traveling with the boyfriend, and how they hope that this show, his mom will now accept them for liking each other and being more than just roommates. But you could tell that they had an amazing time on the show.
It's a great opportunity, the show to be on. They traveled around the world with their with his loved one.
Yeah.
And they're local Pasadena boys, so I felt bad, but they ran a good race, honest, fun, and that's what the most you could ask for them.
Absolutely.
And they're another team. They just kind of kept hanging in there, hanging in there.
They didn't give up. Now, before we get into what we think is going to happen next week and who we think is going to be eliminated, let me just quickly say once again, thank you to everyone who has been watching our AfterBuzz show, not only live online, but of course then you're going to YouTube to watch it. But we also know that many of you guys are listening as well. So thanks to all of you who downloaded podcasts. Do not forget that you guys can go on to iTunes. Not only there can you get the show, you can rate it, you can comment. We right now have 4.5 out of 5-star rating on iTunes and on our podcast. So thank you guys a million. Keep doing that and sharing it. And of course, always comment wherever you can, because we do look at them. We love them. With that being said, let's get into our thoughts, predictions.
We have lots of questions from our girl Allie. Our girl Allie is very active on Twitter, and she has a few questions for us. I think we might have touched on a few of them, but were you surprised that the wrestlers wanted to U-turn the cyclists?
You know what? I wasn't, because it seems like for as much as we like the cyclists, the rest of the racers do not for some reason. Maybe they're a threat, but I mean, Jim and Misty do not like the cyclists. Obviously, the wrestlers do not. Tim and TJ were kind of staying out of it, so I wasn't surprised because they seem to have a target on their back.
Yeah,
I could relate to them. That's how, as I said, that's how we were. But how it's portrayed on TV and how it makes us like them, that's not really what they're seeing. So it's easy to sort of, as you said, stick with the pack. So everyone rather be with each other and not get U-turn. Like Tim and TJ, he was saying that. If we're in last place, we'd rather them get U-turned than us and get eliminated because they had a speed bump. So I could see how everyone sort of jumped ship, but the wrestlers for some reason like them.
So no, Allie did not surprise me, but it does annoy me. So there.
Yeah.
What else you got?
And then she wanted to know if we would be able to carry the 2 glasses. We covered on that.
Is this Allie, like Kim and Allie?
No. This is one of our most amazing AfterBuzz fans, and she writes us after every episode and gives us questions that she wants us to address for other listeners on the show.
Gotcha.
Did you guys like that it was a blind detour?
Yes.
I did too.
Yeah.
It added a little more suspense.
As a racer, I would have been furious and be like, this is not fair. No other season had to do this. But as a viewer, I was like, this is amazing. It's drama.
She didn't like that the surfers used the express pass without trying one of the challenges and just using it, which I would have done the same thing. I would have used my express pass and just blasted through
that. Yeah, I would have been like, why bother? Yeah. Also, they saw how physical one was. Like, what if you would have broken your arm or leg?
There's also a time, I think, I don't know when it was the last episode they have to use it by too.
I think it was this one.
I think it was this one.
Well, then that's,
So why even bother?
Why? You want a first place finish too.
Yeah.
Right. And then she actually thought the dentist deserved first place over the surfers. I know.
Allie.
I know.
Allie.
We've been talking so kind about you until now. Why?
And Allie, I think we mentioned this too, but we all agree that Brooke needs to focus more on the task and less on everything else that's going on around her.
I'm with you, girl.
She thinks that Amy's leg is holding back Amy and Maya.
I'd agree.
Yeah. She would have stolen the cab just like the exes.
Ah,
She would have stolen the
look
cab.
at sneaky girl, Allie.
I would have too. I got you, girl. And she liked that Phil did his pecs.
Look at Barbara Walters here with all the questions. Right? I'm getting nervous now, Allie.
There's 2 more pages.
She did say that she wasn't very sad to see Tim and TJ go home.
Ooh, I know. Those are fighting words, Allie.
All right, so there's a double U-turn coming up. She wants to know who we think is going to get double U-turned.
Okay. It's just so hard because I don't know who's going to be in first, second, third, the next leg. So it's so hard to answer because I don't know the order.
So she thinks the cyclists and the scientists will get U-turned.
Okay.
But she says she would like to see the wrestlers and scientists get U-turned.
I think that...
And she said, hold on, there's one more little layer. Then she said, but as a viewer, like she thinks the majority of the viewers are going to say the dentists and the cyclists will get U-turned.
Okay. I'm actually going to say the wrestlers, and I think the wrestlers and the scientists. I think that they're going to try to U-turn teams that are in the... I don't know. I just have a feeling it's going to be those two. They're going to be in the back. They're going to U-turn each other or whatever. I
don't think Kim and Allie might not get U-turned. It's because I think they're doing well. I don't know if they'll do another equalizer because they just had 2 in this episode.
Yeah.
So I think, Bethany and Adam and the dentist, if they get there first, I don't know. I think it's going to be them 3 up front. So I think Kim and Allie are going to get to slide on through and maybe they'll U-turn someone, or maybe not.
I don't think the surfers or the dentist will U-turn anyone.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
I don't think they will. I think...
You don't U-turn someone if you're at the front of the pack. Don't U-turn someone and create.
But if the wrestlers get there, they might U-turn.
They will. They'll let emotion get in the way of strategy, and they'll U-turn the cyclists.
The cyclists.
Because this leg is the last U-turn. So because if you U-turn someone in the previous leg, you sort of can't U-turn anyone.
Yeah.
Right. So if they were saving that, so they might U-turn. But if you're in first, second, or third, you really don't want to U-turn someone that's in third. Because then they're still going to probably finish, and then they're going to be there. And
now they're going to have a target on your back.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's why I just don't think that the scientists or Brooke and Robbie are going to be towards the front, and that's why I think they might be U-turn because they're going to be in the back of the pack. Just my thought.
Yeah.
I think so too.
What else? Is that all of Allie's?
That's it. She thinks her predictions are the surfers are going home, and the cyclists are going to get first.
Very cool. Very, very, very quickly, of course, we always know we love your guys' comments. So Sam Lane, once again, thanks for all your comments. She also loves your necklace, your jewelry, everything like that,
Yes,
Jess.
thank you.
Also, Soul Brother, he's commenting how I wasn't here last week, and so he's already jumping ship. Come on, man. He's now on Team James as far as the fantasy league. Soul Brother, come on, man. I am back right now. Is James Wallington here? No, he's working.
Now you pick me. I've been here every episode.
So I am back, Soul Brother, so stop it. Mr. Tom King, I missed you too. It is great to be back. And of course, he predicted rightly that TNT were going to be going home.
Yep.
So Tom King, let's see if you're right this week. Make sure you put your predictions back on YouTube. Finley B, thanks to your comments. And Pink Dolphins, they want more of a prize. And of course, Anya T, thanks so much for all of your comments. Everybody. All right, Jess, let's start with you, shall we?
Oh gosh, starting with me. Okay, predictions. I think, who do I think? I think I want to say the scientists might go home.
Okay. Who do you think might get first?
I think it's going to be, I think the surfers are going to get first.
Adam and Bethany staying first?
Yeah.
Okay. I like it. They're in first now. Just
They're
keep
on my
it going.
team. I just have to vote for them.
Oh, that's what this is.
Yeah.
Okay. Our all-star extraordinaire.
Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun.
I think the wrestlers, I had them in my top 3 last time, but I think they might be going home, and I think the cyclists might win this one.
Oh.
Yeah.
I like where your head's at, because the cyclists are on my fantasy team. It pains me to say this, but I think that Jim and Misty are going to get their thumb. I think they're going to get their 5th win, which bothers me.
Where are they going to be this week?
What's that?
Where are they going to be?
I don't know.
We'll
stay tuned to find out. So I think Misty Jim will get first. I think going home are going to be Amy and Maya. They've never really done amazingly well. It looks like now they have an injury. So I think that they are out of here. Sadly, also, we are out of time and out of here shortly as well. But before we go, Leo, on social media, where can everyone find you?
Everything is at Leo Temory, Temory.
Yeah.
That's me.
And of course, you are now kind of a regular here at AfterBuzz, so thank you a million for coming back again.
Thank you.
Now,
thank you for having me.
Maybe you can say, shh, I can't talk about it yet. But before our episode started, everyone, Leo kind of mentioned something I found was very exciting. What's happening at the end of the season? Can you say anything yet, or no? Is it a surprise?
I don't think yet because they haven't released it. But.
So there is maybe a really fun announcement with you and AfterBuzz.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And the Amazing Race.
Coming out, Amazing
stay
Race.
tuned.
Stay tuned. But of course, also you live in Pasadena. And you have an amazing place in Pasadena. Really quickly, where's that? Tell us about it.
Speakeasy bar. It's a 1920s Prohibition style bar. It's a speakeasy. We just actually got voted one of the top 20 speakeasies in best bars in Los Angeles.
Get out of here.
Yeah.
All right, well, a ton of our listeners and viewers are here in Southern California, so make sure you guys go to Pasadena. Pasadena is where it's at right now.
Yes.
And it's the Speakeasy.
The Speakeasy, yes.
The Speakeasy in Pasadena. Yeah. All right, I'll be hanging out there.
Yeah,
Jess, we're going for drinks soon.
For sure.
And if anyone lives in Pasadena, vote for me for mayor. 2015.
Are you running?
Yes.
I didn't know this. Leo, everyone is going for mayor, so make sure.
You'd be a great mayor, for sure.
That is awesome. Well, thank you, possible mayor, for coming in and speaking with us.
Anytime.
Now, Jess, where can everyone find you?
You guys can find me at DressJessXO.
And you all can find me, Justin Nichols, at Justin J. Nichols. Big episode.
Big episode. We'll see you all next Monday.
It's getting good.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Thank you. You too as well.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.